met with Tkachuk in New Jersey, where he lives, and it was during that conversation that Staios asked about his future. Now, Brady Tkachuk had 2 more years under contract, and I think he asked him flat out, what are you thinking at the end of those 2 years? Would you consider re-signing here? And I don't know if Tkachuk said flat out no yet, or he just indicated it was very unlikely. But whatever was said, the Senators felt they had to pivot, that they did not want this hanging over them any longer. And as you know, Martine, any time that this topic came up, it became an enormous distraction in the market, and I think it became an enormous distraction in the dressing room. And I just think at the end of the day, the Senators decided that when this got out, because it was only a matter of time that it got out, and it was bursting at the seams over the last few days, then it was just going to make the whole situation even crazier. They fought to keep it quiet, which they pretty much did, as much as they could, and then they asked for some teams. And Tkachuk gave them 4 teams: Carolina, Florida, Minnesota, and Vegas. But it became pretty obvious pretty quickly to everybody involved here that his preference was to go to Florida to play with his brother. And I just think the Senators tried to make the best deal they could. That they went out and they tried to get the best they could. They got 3 firsts and a second. And I think what they will do is that they will try to flip those players or those picks for more players that can help them win now. They are in a situation where they are trying to win now, and their best players are in their primes. So I don't know that they feel futures really help them.
We're joined now by 98.5thesportshub.com's Ty Anderson. Ty, just your initial thoughts when you saw this deal go down.
Not surprising if he's going to force a move. I thought it was either this team or Vegas. That's where these guys want to go now. They want to go to Tampa, Vegas, Dallas. Now Carolina's on that list too. Surprising in the sense that he had been telling them for months and months and months that he didn't want to leave. He wanted to be in Ottawa. He was committed to Ottawa. I think something post-Olympics happened where he just said, I don't want to be here anymore. I imagine getting booed by your own fans is probably not what you like.
Fair assessment.
There's this trend now though of these NHLers that are American that play in Canada want to leave Canada. It's happened now with Matthew Tkachuk, with Quinn Hughes. We've heard about Austin Matthews. Now Connor Hellebuyck's probably going to leave Winnipeg. Like, this is a real thing that's happening now.
Why is that?
I think they don't like the perception that has been kind of thrown their way. A lot of them got booed when they got back from the Olympics, and a lot of them are accused of their political beliefs that, they might not necessarily be. And they're like, why is this getting thrown at me? Why am I answering for a whole country? Why am I answering for a political party that I'm not a part of?
Playing a sport.
Yeah.
And so I think that was something that was kind of weighing on Brady a little bit. There are clips where if you, like, when they boo the anthem, which happened a little bit up there, not like, it wasn't like 04 Montreal levels of it, but if you saw Brady during that, he was like shaking his head like,
pissed off,
this is ridiculous. Yeah. And so I think, there was a story that somebody shared yesterday about how Brady and Matthew would call each other on morning skates, and Brady would say, yeah, another cold day in Ottawa. He's like, yep, 75 and sunny on my way to the rink down in Florida. So guys,
and that's the greatest training facility out there. The Panthers. It's state of the art.
It's awesome.
Have you been through it?
So I went down there in February, the game before the Olympic break. Yeah. I did that road trip, and I went down there for the morning skate, and I couldn't believe how nice a facility it was. I was like, this is unreal. You got 2 full-size sheets. It's like right on the water. It's got like its own little entrance, and like it's a really cool facility. So yeah, they've done their part, Zoe, to your point, to like make that a destination beyond the winning. Yeah. So they're the city, like they're the team now. You look at their roster. They need a goalie. I don't know who they get. Maybe Hellebuyck. Maybe they trade even more first-round picks and get Hellebuyck. But they are looking like they are ready to go on another deep run next year.
They're like Team USA. It's crazy.
What did you think of the package that they gave up? So it was 9 and 25 in this year's draft, 2029 first-rounder, and a 2027 second-round pick.
I mean, if you're all in, you're all in.
Yeah.
It's the kind of move that I wish the Bruins did.
Yeah.
I wish they did that like 4 years ago, where you get in on a guy.
And we're just doing it.
We're just doing it. Who cares?
Yeah.
And I mean, look at the Florida Panthers core. They're all 30 or turning 30 next year. So, like, the clock is ticking. But it's a GM that realizes championship banners hang forever. Nobody cares, right? If you win, nobody cares what you gave up. Oh, you gave a first-round pick, 28th overall. Who cares? Look at that banner. It's there forever. Like that. Like it's a trade I wish the Bruins made before Bergeron and Krejci retired.
Does it feel like not that the Bruins are stuck in like the original 6 mode and traditional hockey, like to see Vegas there in the finals as much as they have been 2 out of the last 3 years, different coaches and everything. Like, why does it work in Vegas and it just doesn't work here?
I think Vegas.
I'm not saying it doesn't work. You know what I'm saying?
No, of course. I mean,
you're a playoff team here. I'm just saying that's a team that goes on a deep run every year.
There's a difference between a playoff team and a championship team, right? Like there always is.
Totally.
Like would you rather
be a huge step? Yeah, absolutely.
You want to be the Steelers, or do you want to be the
actually compete for championships?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, oh, great, we get in and we get our ass beat in the first or second round every year. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like who cares? No, I think those teams have more of a. We're going to go all in, and we're not going to nibble along the edges. We're not going to nibble on the corners here. Like the Bruins should have traded every pick in the arsenal. During the final years of Bergeron and even Marchand, because traded him a year ago, and Krejci, like, if you traded every pick that you had and you went for it, like Vegas did, like Florida's doing now, and if you don't win, you're kind of like, well, you tried for it. But when you make all those kind of, we're going to trade a second-round pick for a B-level wing because we don't want to trade the first-round pick because we want to use that. Then you use the first-round pick, that guy's a bust. Like you were trying to kind of razor your way in, and it was like you needed everything to go the right way. And if it doesn't, you don't win a championships. But like to your questions, though, like Vegas doesn't care about first-round picks. They never pick in the first round. Florida has traded their last 7 or their last and their next 7 or 8 first-round picks. They don't care about them. Like, you have to actually say, we don't care about picks, we want championships. And for a GM, it's a hard balance to sort of have.
Because it puts your ass on the line.
Exactly.
Yep.
Right. Like what's a safer way to
draft and develop? That's the football way to do it. But then you could be like the Rams, where you have no picks and just go and spend.
Right.
Like they have no first-round picks next 2 years.
So from the Bruins standpoint, they look at it like, well, we have to draft and develop because free agents don't want to come here. Mm-hmm. Sort of what I'm saying about, like, they want to go to these same 5 or 6 cities. But if you build the core, right, and you got guys that you acquired with first-round picks that are superstar players, other players are going to say, I want Boston. Boston's on my list.
You've made yourself a destination.
Exactly.
So I was just going to ask you, so it feels like every international tournament, whether it's the Four Nation or the Olympics, Brady Tkachuk is the name that Bruins fans like have fantasized about here over the last few seasons. They're not on his list of 4 teams. Mm-hmm. Feels like they're not going to. Dylan Larkin, not necessarily a
Team USA guy.
Right. How do you attract that player right now if you're the Boston Bruins?
So I think the Bruins have 2 options here. I think they have to recruit or they have to rebuild. I think that's what it is. Like, you have to have your star players like David Pastrnak and Charlie McAvoy and Jeremy Swayman start making calls to other players in other cities, or your head coach. Can Marco Sturm call the Oilers? Or could he call Leon Draisaitl and say, hey, you want to get out of Edmonton? Come here. We're countrymen. I'd love to have you on my team. Like, it's no secret that there's tampering and guys talk, and like it happens. But clearly, like, the Bruins star players have to start recruiting a little bit because it's clear that the other team's guys are. Whether that's Jack Eichel in Vegas, whether that's Matthew Tkachuk. Obviously, a brother connection is a little bit stronger than a teammate in a tournament or whatever, but they're going to have to recruit because I don't think that's the only way you can add these players now. They don't hit the market now. Who's the best free agent in the NHL right now? It's Alex Tuch. Do you really?
No.
Are you like, oh man, you got to get Alex Tuch. Like, what are you going to do without Alex Tuch? Like, no, but Brady Tkachuk, like that's
You're right. The big ones happen through trades. It's amazing.
They do. But now everyone has a no movement clause or a no trade clause. Like, everybody has one. It's kind of crazy. So you have to have your star players be part of that process. It's very LeBron era NBA right now.
Yeah, totally.
Where, like, you have to make that call.
Well, the owner's aware of this and where it's heading. Do you think they need to make changes?
So I don't know. Like, the change you could make is, like, you have to have the owners collude essentially and tell all their GMs no more no trade clauses. We're not doing this anymore. Right? Like, look at the NBA. There's 2 players in the NBA that have a no trade clause. It's LeBron and Dame Lillard. That's it. Everyone else can be moved.
Yeah.
But that requires the owners and the GM saying, we're not giving these out anymore. I don't care.
This is not going to be a standard part of a contract moving forward. We're just not going to do it. Yeah.
So I saw an idea on Twitter, and I actually loved it. But then again, you create this gray area now. If a player requests a trade, it invalidates the no movement clause. I kind of like that idea, but then again, an agent will go, well, we're not requesting a trade. We're just saying explore it. You know what I mean? So there's that out there right there. So, I think you have to have the owners collude with their GMs and say no more no trade clauses.
You're right. I actually like that on paper, too. Like, if your camp initiates the trade request, but, yeah, how do you actually govern that? How do you enforce that?
Right. The agent go, well, we never said that.
No, that's not true.
They're lawyers. I mean, they're going to find the way out. Like, no, we just said we don't want to be here.
It didn't mean that we want it out.
Yeah, we don't want to be
open
here.
to it. Yeah, sure, I guess.
No, but I don't know how you get rid of it. I mean, the easiest solution, get good, be a good team, be a team that people want to play for. I can't. I want to hammer the league and where it's going. Where guys only want to go to the city. I grew up a Pats fan during the Brady era. Everyone wanted to come here. And I was like, yeah, we're getting them. All right, sick. Here we go. So now I can't be like, this is not fair. No, they want to come here because you're a good team. You're a good franchise. It's kind of the same kind of concept. And so I just feel like, the best way is you just got to have a good team again. But there's a reason why every breakup day we ask the players, are you comfortable recruiting? Are you comfortable calling other players and telling them how great Boston is? Because a player will always tell you, oh, I love this city, I love this franchise, I love this organization. The follow-up is always, do you tell other players that? Because it's become a real part of bringing players in now.
Who would be that guy in the locker room right now where you would think that they kind of have the juice to sell this place?
It's Pasternak. I mean, but it could be McAvoy too because of how he's viewed internationally. It is interesting the way that Charlie McAvoy is viewed by Bruins fans versus his role on Team USA. They love him on Team USA. He wears a letter for Team USA. They think he's a great defenseman. And so it's all right, use that. Bring some guys in. Call whoever and say, hey, we'd love to bring you in. Do you call, Zach Werenski in Columbus and you say, hey, I loved playing with you at the Olympics. You've been to the playoffs once or twice in your career. You want to come to Boston? We'd love to have you here. Ride with me as my number 1A defenseman. He may have to do something like that because you're not getting that player in free agency anymore.
All right, Ty Anderson with us in studio. On the other side, we'll get into the Bruins offseason. Some moves that could be coming down in a little bit. We'll do that next on Zolak and Bertrand.
We're back with more Zolak and Bertrand.
I mean, those are the things I'm working on with third graders.
On the Sports Hub.
So the Brady Tkachuk deal going down yesterday. Reports out that the Bruins are listening on Pavel Zacha. Do you think that there could be a deal with Zacha here coming down at all? Or would you be surprised if they actually ended up moving off of that?
I mean, if Brady Tkachuk is fetching 3 first-round picks and Mackie Samoskevich was traded by Florida yesterday, gets a first-round pick and a second-round pick, it's really hard for me not to listen on Pavel Zacha because I just feel like, I like what he does for 82 games. Every single postseason, though, I'm left wanting more. He has not been a good playoff performer here, and I know that's maybe unfair to hold that against him so hard, given how impactful he is in the regular season. But do we want to build a playoff team or a championship team? That's what I keep coming back to. If you're content having a guy making $7 million who's going to give you 3 points in 7 games every first round when you lose, then sure, keep him. But if you have any doubts about paying that guy, which I would respectfully, I would listen. And if someone wants to offer me 2 first-round picks, I'm taking that trade because I'm either going to use those picks or I'm going to make my own version of that Brady Tkachuk trade to help my team, versus stripping away from it. And so there are teams that do want to add a player like Zacha. Seattle is one of them. Winnipeg is one of them. Zacha had to submit his no-trade list earlier this year, around April or so. And so they know the 8 teams that are on that list. But there are some teams that do want to add a player like that and are willing to move first-round picks, and I would listen on him. I really would. I love his game. It's been 3 mediocre playoff runs for him, and that concerns me because you already have too many guys, in my opinion, who don't rise to the moment in the postseason. And, that's why, you kept Krejci because he was good in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You kept Horton because he was good in the playoffs. You moved away from trading guys that you may have wanted to trade because they had good playoff resumes. I can't apply the opposite.
Other than
here.
him, who else do you look to step up? Like, I mean, we all know Pasta, and I mean,
Right.
Pasta's a high-level guy. But other than take Pasta out of it, other than Zolak and Pasta, who else is not living up to expectations? Defensively, too.
Yeah, I would say Geeky. Geeky just, he's kind of one-dimensional in terms of, like, when he's going, he just has that lethal shot, that scoring a bunch of goals. But I feel like you need more game-breaking talent from him. If he's capable of that, maybe he just might be slotted incorrectly, because of the team and how thin they are up front. But I'd look at him. I would look at, I don't think McAvoy has enough around him. So, I think he can be better.
Does he get too much blame is the question,
I
though?
think so.
Okay,
because I think he's dragging around AHL pairing partners right now. And it's like, okay, well, that's... Yeah, I look at Dahlin in Buffalo, and I look at he's got Samuelson, he's got Byram, he's got Owen Power, another first overall pick. Back
in the day when you won here, you had Chard and Seidenberg.
Right, you had Adam McQuaid on the third pairing, and it allowed him to just be a third pairing monster.
Come in and beat people.
Exactly, right. And so I want to see McAvoy get a real number. I mean, I would include Hampus Lindholm in that.
Okay,
I think Hampus. I think needs to be better in the playoffs. He's been hurt every postseason, which is, if you're going to be hurt every postseason, that's just as bad as playing poorly. I need you to be 100%. And so I think he's in that group as well. They don't have a core, so they just don't. They got three good players like that. Like, it's not a core to me.
Here we go again. It's like we have you in every offseason. It's like they got the same three good players.
Yeah, and
now the goalies have changed, but
can the three good players recruit guys for them, or if not, do you have to have that difficult conversation?
That's true. What's a good play with Pasternak? Is there anybody hey, get me there, get me to Boston,
dude? I thought Marty Natchez would want to really badly. He was in Colorado, or he is in Colorado. He was going to be a UFA. He's Czech, like Pasternak. All the Czech players love David Pasternak, but he ends up playing with McKinnon and McCarr, and he's like, ooh.
This is pretty good.
This is a nice pathway to 50 goals every year. All right, I'll take this, and so he stays there. So I just, it's so, the offseason is not going to be sexy offseason, and I hate that. I would love Jason Robertson from Dallas. He's going to make $14 million on his next contract. I would pay it because you're that desperate. I want Robert Thomas. Give me one of those guys, and I'm happy. But right now, the feeling is dour on the Boston Bruins. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't see the pathway here. I don't see the pathway to being
great,
a
legit contender.
Glad we brought you in today, Ty. I appreciate the pick me up. Jeff is in Maine and has a question for you. Jeff, what's up?
Hey, Ty. How you? Hey, everybody. But Ty, big fan. Used to chat with you back in the Hockey Buzz days.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Fountain Song. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, good to talk to you. But I do have this thing that the Bruins don't trade their first-round picks. Going back to the 2010 Cup and a couple years before that, since then they've traded half of their picks and their first-round picks. Orlov, Hathaway, Bertuzzi, these come to mind. And I just think if the Bruins didn't leave those two cups on the table against the Hawks and the Blues, the perception would be different. It's like we haven't won one Stanley Cup since 1972. It would be since 2010 we've won three. And I think that has a lot to do with it. And I just think that Neely and Sweeney, and I'll leave it at this, I think they get a really bad rap in this town. The Bruins are really competitive all the time. But anyway, I'll leave it at that, and I'll listen. Ty, good to talk to you. Best of luck, everybody.
You too, man. Miss talking to you. I feel yes, they've traded first-round picks, but they've often been for guys that are they're B players, not A players.
I know what you're saying. You don't push the chips in the middle of the table and say we're all in on this guy that's going to be the ultimate difference maker.
Yeah, and they trade they trade a first-round pick to get rid of the Backus contract, which hurt. Which I hate when they have to attach. They had to attach a second-round pick to dump John Moore in the trade with Anaheim because they want to get rid of that contract as well. It's just they do trade first-round picks, but are they home run swings? Right? It's almost like a wall ball double. And it's like, okay, I like that in a vacuum, but you need to get some guys home. You got to plate some runs here, and so I feel like they don't make enough of those kind of trades involving first-round picks. And it's one thing, if you're going to trade a first-round pick, if you're going to trade a couple of first-round picks, I want more of and I know we just ripped him, but the Hampus Lindholm trade. You trade 2 first-round picks for him, but you keep them right away. You extend them right away. If you trade a first-round pick for Tyler Bertuzzi and you extend him, I'm like, all right, I'm in.
Yeah.
Cool, I like that. Like, so they don't do enough of that. I feel like when they're making a trade involving a first-round pick, it doesn't feel like it's often for a guy that's sticking around here beyond this year. Like Rick Nash, they wanted to keep. He had a concussion problem.
Yep.
That kind of played it out. But if you go back to that, would it have made more sense to send that haul to New York for Ryan McDonough, who ended up being a core piece, a core defenseman for the Tampa Bay Lightning when they won their Stanley Cups?
No, it's a fair second guess. What else should we be watching for this offseason? Where do things stand with Arvidsson?
So Arvidsson is going to get paid. The market is not good. He's 33 years old. He could get a 3 or 4 year deal. Do you want to give Victor Arvidsson a 3 or 4 year deal?
No.
I do not. And the other part of it, too, is I think what you got out of him a year ago is the best it's going to get with him. So I look at that and say, loved him as a player, loved what he did for you. He gave you some life that you needed a year ago, just some jump every night. You won games on his back a year ago. This is a player who has an extensive injury history. You saw it in the playoffs. He missed the final 3 games of the playoffs with an injury. Not a guy I want to give $5+ million to over 4 years. I just don't want to do that.
Chalk it up as a win and just move on. Like it
could have been an even bigger win if you traded him. Like this is the part of it that I think I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's hard to pull off a retool if you get emotionally attached to players that are on 1 year deals. And you say, well, I can't trade him because what about the room? What's that going to do with the room? Well, the room went 0-3 at home in the playoffs. So
there you go.
Don't really care about the room as much as I used to.
Kills them. Absolutely kills them.
It's brutal. They are a ghost team at home. I've never seen anything like it, where they just look shell-shocked. They're just shaking.
Was the Sunday Buffalo one like the worst you've seen?
Yes.
Yeah, that's about rock bottom.
That game 4, the one where it was 4-0 after 5, whatever it was, after the first period.
Yeah.
I was sick. I was sick to my stomach.
Why am I here?
This is gross. It's a Sunday. I could be outside. I'm doing this right now. Everyone's booing them. I'm like, boo louder. This is terrible. No one should like this right now. So, yeah, the Buffalo was an eye-opener in the sense that it really made my list of untouchables drop down to like 3 players.
Yeah.
It is. That's my list right now. I used to say, well, no, that guy's valuable. You gotta keep that guy. Now I'm like, I don't care.
We're good. Yeah.
Give me an actual run here, or rip the Band-Aid off and do a rebuild. So, I don't think a rebuild for them would be that long. They have Hagens. They have Minton. Trade Zaka, move up the board, get one of these defensemen that you could have gotten with the Toronto pick. And all of a sudden, I'm feeling a little bit better about this team. I don't think it's a rebuild as much as I think it's like another retool. Yep. Maybe we were foolish to think that the retool would take 45 days in March 2025. Yep. Where we felt good about it. We're like, wow, they got 2 first-round picks, and they got Minton, and they got Husadinov. Like, this looks good. Maybe we were foolish to think it would take that short of a window, and it didn't take another deadline or another offseason sell-off. But they got contracts they should move, whether it's Lowry, whether it's Yoki Haru. I would listen on Zaka. I would listen on Middlestad. Like, you got guys that could net you some good returns, and you continue to build your pipeline either for your own benefit or to parlay that into a trade. I loved what Florida did yesterday, where they get a first-round pick and a second-round pick from Seattle. 8 hours later, they spin it.
Flip it.
And they're like, we're getting Brady Tkachuk. And you're like, oh, masterful GMing right there. I just want more of that. Don Sweeney is a veteran GM. He's GM for Team Canada. He should have the know-how and the gumption to kind of make those kind of trades now.
All right, Ty, thanks for coming in. We appreciate
it.
Anytime.
Ty Anderson, 98.5, thesportshub.com. Be sure to check him out. We'll get you caught up on Hub headlines, then get back to your phone calls next on Zolak and Bertrand.
Zolak.
I got a pillow over my head.
Bertrand.
Doesn't make it normal.
The Sports Hub.
I'm skeptical. I have no reason to want to get rid of Jaylen Brown, and I don't trust that Giannis will stay healthy enough to make it worthwhile when it matters. If someone could give me a guarantee that when May and June roll around in 2027, that he'll be in the lineup healthy, I might change my mind. I don't think anybody can give you that guarantee. I don't have any, and I have no compelling reason to want to dump Jaylen Brown. I just think I talked to him a little bit. Maybe Joe should have a little chat with him, or Brad. But other than that, no. I'm not crazy about this. This isn't the Giannis. His best days are behind him, I think, frankly. So, of course I could be wrong, but that's my position.
Dusty May leaves Michigan, Zoe, after winning the
that
national championship, and is now going to be the next head coach of the Dallas Mavericks.
Portnoy's very upset. He was going to name a horse after him, and that has not happened now.
He's pulling the name?
Yeah. He's pulling the name off the horse. Yeah.
Being a college head coach, whether it's football or basketball,
What?
dealing with NIL, having to not only recruit out of the portal, but also dealing with kids being recruited off of your roster.
Yeah.
It's again in Michigan, coming off the championship, probably deals with that less than anybody. But man, that is such a headache to be that coach. And you go to the NBA, and it's just you're handed a roster, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's such a better lifestyle than being a college head coach. It feels like Brad Stevens made the jump, and that was even before NIL.
Why'd the Putts go back to UConn and not the Lakers then?
Built for college. And what's
Built
the
for
impact?
college, yeah. He would have got
the-
fired within a month in college.
You know,
in the pros.
There's coaches that want to make an impact on kids' lives, and he's one of those guys. You know,
he sure does.
make that positive impact. Yeah. But you've talked about this, just like a guy like Bill O'Brien at BC,
Great coach.
And if you hit on a player, then it gets poached at BC. Like, what are you supposed to do? It's brutal.
Like you feel terrible playing a young player because if he gets seen, next thing you know, he's going to get whacked. And you got two periods you got to sweat, one in the spring and one after the season, that portal time, and more guys move than ever. I can't believe it. You look at some of these quarterbacks too. Some of them played in 5 schools. It's insane. Where's the Tim Tebow's talked about this too. Like, you don't have the loyalty anymore. You don't have the loyalty of the program. You don't have the tradition at the program. Schools are playing outside the conference. You're not playing guys. You don't have rivalry games anymore. It sucks. And that's a guy that was built for college, Tebow. And he knew college football. He's great for it. Not at the pros, but college.
So big news there in college basketball as Dusty May again goes to the Mavericks. 617-779-0985. See you guys lined up. Wanted to talk Giannis. Rob is in Connecticut. Rob, what's up?
Hey, guys. Love the show.
Thank you.
All right. You probably know I'm not the biggest Tatum fan. I think he's soft. So
Here you go.
I was wondering how many more wins you think the Celtics would have had last year if it was Tatum playing without Brown as opposed to Brown playing without Tatum. What is his worth? And why are you guys so obsessed with this guy?
With what guy?
Oh, I mean, called the wrong show if you think they're
Tatum.
obsessed with Tatum, because Zoe is certainly not obsessed with Tatum.
I love Jaylen Brown. I'd trade Tatum.
I don't think it's a question of why are you guys obsessed with Jason Tatum, by the way, in terms of whether that's me or Beetle. But, like, Zoe, I know you're a Brown guy. You can't disagree, though, that the Celtics are Team Tatum in this
Oh,
thing.
they are. Yep, they're blinded too. Yeah.
How many more wins would they have if Jason Tatum was replaced with Jaylen Brown? I don't know the answer to that. I mean, like, you in the regular season, you maximized that roster for sure. I mean, they did a hell of a job in the regular season, and I thought you saw a lot of what you saw with those Isaiah Thomas led Boston Celtics, the Bridgie Celtics, which was just, we're going to play a lot harder than a lot of other teams on a consistent basis in the regular season. And in the NBA, that leads to a lot of regular season wins. What does the ceiling look like once you get to the postseason? I think that's a conversation that you should have, and it's a conversation certainly that Brad Stevens had, because he brought that up in his end-of-season press conference where he talked about their record against the elite Western Conference teams, and really, it was sort of smoke and mirrors in the regular season in terms of that record and the way that they got there. How does that translate? And now it feels
it's
like...
the element of the unknown. That's the uncertainty, like Bob Ryan talks about. If you could tell me that he's going to be totally healthy, how many months into this thing? I said, yes, do the deal then. It's a gamble. It really is. That's one thing you could bet on is Brown's going to be there. Brown will be there and he'll be ready to go. He's physically fit. And God plays in an edge, and there's a different intensity when he's out there. I like it.
I think you have to give Brad Stevens credit, though. It's a ballsy move, man.
Sure it is.
Like, I look at it in the safe place to just run it back with the two J's and try to build around them and build up that roster around those two guys.
Unless he's got something up his sleeve where he's going to bring in some big that's exciting here.
Or unless, again, Jaylen Brown, coming off of last season because he enjoyed being the guy, wants out in Boston.
Yeah.
And I think that's certainly on the table based on Windhorse's comments today that even if Giannis isn't the guy that they land from Jaylen Brown, there's a real chance that he is out the door in a separate deal. And I don't think that that's normal, because I think you and I were on the same page where it would have to be a special circumstance to move off of one of those two guys. And I think now we're trending in a direction where it doesn't necessarily have to be a special circumstance for them to move off of Jaylen Brown, which, again, is certainly a change in the way that I think this thing has been viewed over the last few weeks and really since Jaylen Brown has been in Boston. That's different. That's a different comment from Windhorst today than what we've heard before.
That's fair.
So there's been a change. 617-779-0985 is your telephone number. We'll get back to your phone calls after this.
Game is Sunday.
So I kick Sunday.
Kick Sunday.
Monday, Tuesday. I go do
That's
legs.
insane.
I do legs on Monday.
That is
Tuesday,
insane.
we go in. We're in there for like 5 hours. I'll do an upper body lift. We look at the game film. And then Wednesday, Thursday.
What are you
kick.
looking at? Just stop the ball.
Listen, I'm going to be honest. I'm with you. I don't watch much film. I've given back my iPad every year. There's
All right,
0 hours
so
lost.
Wednesday.
Then Wednesday, I kick. So we have
What does that
full-
mean?
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Probably kicked about 50 balls. I'm out there kicking an hour and a half.
It's a lot.
I mean, that's like
It's
you would
not
do
that
in
much, for
training.
being honest. 50 is like,
All right.
like some younger kids probably go out there and kick like 100.
Younger kids? What are you, like 24?
I'm saying like high schoolers. So again, it's like benefiting them.
All right,
You
so then
kick, like, 100
Thursday?
balls.
That was Cameron Dicker in an interview last week. Chargers kicker, describing his week.
Yeah.
So, which is like nothing, essentially.
But kicking 50 balls is a lot. I'd be tired after doing that.
So the question is kicker in the NFL the best professional sports job going?
Or do you classify punter and kicker as different?
I would say those two are different.
I would say punter is easier. I would say holding is easier. I held. It's the easiest job to do in sports. You don't get hit. They can't touch you. I mean, you can flub a ball or two. I don't. I'm perfect. I never had a drop snap.
Caught everything.
Never had a bad hold.
Caught everything.
Caught it all. I mean, every time my ass was tight because you get out there and it's freezing, the wind's blowing, and you can't feel the ball or your fingers. You're like, oh crap. But yeah. I mean, I would start to get nervous when we start to just knock to get into field goal range, and I grab the Aussie and start taking snaps right away. Let's go.
See, like there's pressure on, like you're describing. There's actually pressure if you're a holder. There's pressure if you're a place kicker. So like, yeah,
Right.
the week itself is good. I'm with you. I think
Less
punter-
pressure on a punter. I mean, they had awful punting this past year, and nobody said anything about it.
So that's my thing. Like, if you're a punter, you can shank a punt, and in the moment, people will be like, "Oh, what a brutal punt!" But when you do like the post game recap, rarely are you going back to that as like there's going to be a play following the punt that people focus on versus the punt. And look, you're going to get crap for it, I'm sure, but not to the extent of if you miss an end of game field goal as the clock hits 0. People are going to crush you for it.
Right. And it felt like that end of that AFC title game out in Denver, like we're punting from our own end zone the whole second half, and he didn't kick one ball over the 50. And I know the weather sucked, but it's like you're hitting them the ball to plus 45, plus 40, and like your defense has to hang on for the next 4 quarters or the next 40 minutes. I'm sorry. 4 minutes. I'm sorry. Yeah. So I was like, I was biting my nails, and I'm like, crap, they're already in field goal range. But they really weren't because the wind was so bad.
Right, and if you shank a punt, there's other things that can happen that can prevent you from being the GOAT.
Sure.
If you just miss that field goal, or if you drop, like
You miss a field goal, everybody knows.
Everyone knows. Everyone's going to focus on that. If you drop a snap, like you said too, that's another one where people are going to give you Tony Romo in the playoffs back in the day. Obviously, is one you never see it, but if you do that, yeah, you're going to be the guy that everyone kind of points to and is like, yeah. So too much stress in both of those things.
Sure, absolutely.
Punter. No, not really.
No.
What about like a middle reliever isn't a bad job either. The problem is just the schedule, man. The work schedule sucks. It's 162 games.
That's the problem. You travel and all that. Yeah.
You got to be at the park.
Every day you're playing.
Every day you're at the park.
3 hours early. An hour late. Yeah, just get on a plane. It's brutal. Brutal schedule for those guys.
So, like a middle reliever, again, like you're not going to be in high pressure situations, whatever. It's mop up work. Yeah, people are going to give you crap, but it's just a day in and day out grind of being a middle reliever that kind of puts that to the side. End of the bench in the NBA. It's, again, the schedule's not great. You still got to go to practice. You still got to watch film. You got to do all of that stuff. Where if you're a punter or a kicker, there's really not much that you're doing, right?
What's the easiest job in sports radio? Producer, assistant producer, maybe someone answer the phone.
Excuse me? Excuse me.
A seat, B seat, C seat. Which one? Like, what's the hardest? What's the easiest job in sports radio? It's got to be producer.
No.
Oh, you just make the lights. Make sure the lights are on.
To make sure.
Turn the button on. Turn it off. Look at the clock.
Headlines guy's pretty easy.
Oh wow! See, he turned my mic off.
The headlines guy's pretty easy. It's a pretty cushy gig. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, it's yeah. You just read Twitter.
So you never think you should get paid
updates.
more than the other guys? Then?
No, I always think that. Absolutely, absolutely. What do you take? You taking punter or kicker, T-Bone?
As the easiest?
Yeah,
I would say punter.
Punter.
There's no stress.
Less pressure.
I mean,
punt is not as impactful as a bad kick.
Being backed up on your goal line, but those are rare. Like on the back end line, you shorten the amount of space. It's usually 14 yards. Now it's all of a sudden 10. You're like, oh crap!
If a kicker has a bad kick, he's either losing yardage for his team because of a penalty if he kicks it out of bounds on a kickoff or something, or he's losing points, taking points off the board.
And people are crushing you after the game, too. Like, you're going to be that guy. Again, if you shank a punt, there's, like, other things that come after it that people kind of highlight more so than the punt itself, I feel like. And a lot of times, you sort of skate on what you just did. Yeah. Even if you're backed up into the end zone, Zoe, people are like, oh, man, the offense blew it. The field position game. Oh, you didn't give the guy a chance.
Down, right.
I don't know. Thought that was interesting. But, man, that's a hell of a schedule for Cameron Dicker. I'm not going to lie to you. You see it in training camp when we're down there, just the kicking situation.
It would suck. It would suck in Buffalo. No, it's suck in Cleveland, like where you got wind. Chicago, cold and windy. Those kickers out west on the West Coast, they got nothing to
They'll be in Indiana soon enough.
Yeah. Right?
That's right. Good job, Brandon.
617-779-0985. Get you caught up on headlines, the latest with Giannis. On the other side, we'll talk some Pats with Zoe next.